Students, in our previous class, we were discussing on the pointers and functions, the relationship between the pointers and the functions. One part we have looked into it, wherein we have studied the how we can pass the pointers as a parameter to the function, right? Wherein we discussed about a concept called as a pass by reference or the pass by pointers, right? Wherein pass by pointer, when we do that, what happens? The changes made to the formal parameters will get reflect in the actual parameters. Okay, that is the concept of pass by reference or a pass by pointers. Now, in the same way, how we can the way we how we pass the pointers to a particular function, we can also return a pointer from a function. Okay, now user defined functions may return some value or may not return some value. If it is returning, then we call it to be a function returning certain values, right? Depending upon the data type of that particular value, we will write the return type as either as an int or a float or a char. If it is returning an integer value or a character value or a float value respectively, isn't it? Now, in the same way, we can also return a pointer from the function. So pointer means what? Pointer means the memory location of a particular variable we can return from a user defined function. Okay, that concept we will try to understand in the first part of today's class. Okay, now I'm going to write a very simple program here wherein I will write one user defined function, and that particular user defined function is going to return the memory address. Okay, now pay attention and try to understand the concepts here. Say I will say let's say that I want to calculate or I want to find the largest of two numbers. So let me have a function. Let me first write the function prototype. The name of the function, I would say that it is a large, and it takes two parameters, and this time the parameters what I'm going to pass are the addresses. So to store the addresses, I require a pointer int asterisk, and for the second number again I'm going to pass the address, so the int asterisk. So two addresses I'm going to pass to this particular user defined function. Okay, and those two parameters are what? Those two parameters are the addresses of the first variable and the second variable. Since I'm passing the addresses, I need to have a particular variables which are nothing but the pointers here. So the convention is int asterisk. Okay, and at the same time I want to make that this particular user defined function should return some value, and that is not a value of the variables, rather it should be the address of that particular variable. Okay, now since it is going to return the address, what type of the address? It is of the type integer values, so int followed by asterisk, int asterisk then large. So it reads that. Now notice the return type here. It is not simple the integer value, but it is a pointer of the type integer. Can you find this difference here? Int asterisk, that means the what this particular large function is going to return is of the type pointer. Pointer means the address. Okay, now let's have certain statements, variables declared in the main function, and the statements which will call the user defined function large. Say I need a two variables here, say int x. Okay, now let me make it a full screen. Fine, just a second. Okay. Int x, let's say this x stores the value 10. Okay, and then let's take one more variable int y that stores a value 20. Okay, now what I need to do is that I want to call this particular function large, right? Now large, and I need to pass two parameters here, that is two actual parameters. What can be the actual parameters here? Can anyone tell me? Two actual parameters I want to pass it here. So what those two could be? Look into the prototype and then tell me the functions call statement, what I need to write here. What this particular large function is accepting? How many parameters it is accepting?
So
Two.
2.
2. What are those?
Two.
What is the type?
Integer.
Integer.
Huh, integer. But after integer, what can you make out based upon this asterisk? What integer? Is it an integer variable or it is something different?
So pointer. Integer
Pointer.
pointer.
It is taking or it is passing two integer pointers. What pointer stores?
Address of
Address.
another variable.
Address of another variable. Now I need to pass two parameters here. Okay. Now can you tell me what could be those two parameters? Shall I pass it as a x comma y? Shall I pass it as an x comma y as the parameters? Are these x and y, are they values of the x and y, or are they addresses of x and y?
Value of x and y.
Value of x and y. How about the function prototype? Should we pass the values or should we pass the addresses?
Addresses.
Addresses.
Address.
Then is this method, what I have written here, x comma y, is it correct or is it incorrect?
Incorrect.
Incorrect, sir.
Incorrect. Then what is the correct format?
So ampersand x ampersand y.
Ampersand
operator
x
and
and
operator.
then ampersand y. Now look at the statement here, function call statement. I am passing two parameters, which is matching with the function prototype. There are two, here also there are two. Okay. Now in the function prototype, what it says, I need to pass the first parameter as the pointer. But pointer, what it stores? It stores the addresses. So the first parameter I am passing address of x. The same way, second pointer or second parameter also, it is address of y. Okay. Now come back to the return type here. What do we have a return type of this particular function? It is a returning what? Pointer. Pointer means it is
Pointer.
returning some memory location. Since it is returning some memory location, I require that particular placeholder to store it. That means I will declare a pointer here. Let's say asterisk p. I want an pointer of the integer data type. What this particular pointer will do, this particular pointer will store the address, whatever this large function is going to return. Okay, this particular pointer p will now store whatever this large function is going to return. If you look into the function prototype, the large is going to return what? A memory address. It is not a value, but it is a memory address. Since it is returning a memory address, so left hand side of this equal to, we need a corresponding variable. That variable should be a pointer. So we have declared a pointer here. So now p is going to be the address, whatever this particular large is going to return for us. Okay, now let us write the, I'm just writing as per the flow of execution. Okay, as we know, the flow of execution starts from here, and once this particular large function is called, the definition will be get called. So let me first write the definition. So in the definition, first I need to write upon the what? The function header. So function header should look like exactly the same, right? But instead of the semicolon, we need to write this content here. So it is going to return a pointer. So int asterisk, then name of the function is large, and it is going to take two parameters, right? So can you tell me what could be the two parameters here? What the two parameters will be?
So 2 pointers.
2 pointers. Why do we require 2 pointers here?
So because we are passing address of the variable.
Yes, we are passing, look into the function call here. We are passing two addresses. Since I am passing two addresses, I need two pointers to store them. So what I can write here, say int asterisk, let me call it as a first one, then int asterisk b. Okay, now look into the function call statement here. In this function call statement, I am passing two addresses. Since I am passing two addresses, the corresponding variables which can store the address is a pointer. So I'm in the formal parameters, I'm just declaring the pointers here, int asterisk a. Now this asterisk a, which is a pointer, what this asterisk a will store? It will store the address of x. At the same time, the asterisk b, which is a pointer, and this b will store address of the variable y. Okay, now at the same time, if you want me to explain with the diagrammatic explanation, let's see here how it works. Okay, now this side I'm going to write on this particular column, I'm going to write the addresses, and these are the values, and here I will write the variables. Let's go step by step for better understanding. Okay, now the line number 9, int x, that is 10, and y is 20. Assume that this is the x variable and its memory location is 1001, and we have a value 10. Similarly, we have a second variable y. Assume that its memory location is 1003 and it contains the value 20. Okay, and then we have a declaration of one particular pointer p, which doesn't contain anything as of now. Okay, now let's say the pointer p is over here, and assume that its memory location is 2001 now. Okay, it doesn't contain anything as of now. Now, when it comes to the line number 11, what we have first a function call. So this particular function will be called. When I call this particular function, I am passing two addresses, right? Address of x and address of y. When I pass it, those two addresses will be received by this particular user defined function by the name large. So now again, in the large, we have two pointers now here, a and b. Let us treat them as here. Say this is a, and assume that its memory location is 3001. Okay, and then we have another pointer b. Assume that its memory location is 3003. Okay, now can anyone tell me what this particular pointer a, here a and b are the pointers. Okay, now what this particular pointer a contains?
Address of
Address
x.
of x.
Address of x. So what is address
X and
of
Y.
x? Address of x is what?
1001.
1001.
1001. Okay, then address of b is what? Sorry, address of y is 1003. So that is stored in the pointer b. Okay, for your understanding, let me write it as pointer here so that you don't misread it. This is pointer a and this is pointer b, and this p is also a pointer. It is also a pointer. Okay, now is it understood till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what I need to do is that the function what I'm writing is to check whether which particular number, the variable a, that is x, or y, which one is large between these two numbers, right? By using the pointer concept. Okay, now the user defined function here, how I'm going to write, pay attention and see. Now, I want to get the value of 10. I want to get this value 10, and also I want to get value 20. In this particular function large. How can I access? I can access it through the corresponding pointer a. Since pointer a is pointing where? To 1001, and I want the value at 1001, that means who can give me? It can be retrieved by writing asterisk a. So now what asterisk a will give me? It will give the value located at that particular address. What is the address? 1001. At 1001, what I have? I have 10 value. So asterisk a will give me 10. In the same way, how can I get the value? That is this particular 20 number. How can I get this 20 value?
Asterisk b.
Asterisk b. I can get it by using asterisk b. Now I need to compare these two values. Which one is larger, right? What I can do here, I can simply write a if condition. If this asterisk a is greater than asterisk b. If it is true, which is larger? If this condition is true, which is larger? Is this a pointed by a or pointed by b?
Sir, B.
No, now don't look into these values
A,
here.
sir.
No, don't look into
Yes,
the
sir.
values. If this condition is true, which particular address which is being pointed, is it A is larger or B is larger?
A,
A,
sir.
sir.
A is larger.
A, sir.
Then we will say that A is larger, but if you look into the return type is a pointer. So what I need to return? I need to return the memory address of whom whatever this A is containing. So the return statement will be as simple as return A. Okay, return A means what will happen? What A contains. If you look into the diagrammatic representation, A contains 1001. Now tell me, is this 1001, is it a memory location?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That means whatever we are returning is matching with our return type. Return type, we specified that a pointer. Pointer is means what? Which contains the memory location. So we are returning a value. Now, if this particular condition is a false condition, it returns in a false. So we need to write the else block. In that else block, definitely what we need to return? We need to return B here. Okay. Now, either it returns A or either it returns B, depending upon this particular condition. Now try to substitute the values for this asterisk A and asterisk B. Now what is this asterisk A?
Sir, 10,
10. What is asterisk B?
20.
10.
20.
10 greater than 20. Now, what will be the result of this condition? Is it true or a false?
False.
It is
False.
False.
false means it will come into the else block, and in the else block we have a statement. The statement is return B. So what is B now? What B contains?
20.
1003.
So we got two values, 1003 and 20. Now which one is correct?
1003.
1003.
Look into B. B means 1003. Asterisk B means it is going to be 20. But here we are just returning a B. That means we are returning the memory address 1003. Okay. Now when it is returned, what will happen? The control flow, that is execution of the program, will come back to this particular place, right? Now, in place of this function call, what we'll do is that it will just replace the right hand side with 1003. So it looks like something like this. P equal to 1003. Now, look into this particular statement. Is it a valid statement now? P equals to 1003. What is 1003? It's the address. Address means it should be stored in a pointer. Now, is this particular P a pointer now? Yes, it is a pointer which we have declared. Now, this particular P, what it contains? 1003. Now, this particular P contains 1003. Understood so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I got is that I got a particular pointer. What it contains? A particular memory location whose value is larger than those two particular numbers. Okay. Now to print that value, what I can simply do is that write a printf statement, printf. Okay. Then I can see say that %d is larger. What that percentage D? Percentage D is nothing but asterisk P here. Whatever this P contains, that particular memory location, value at that particular memory location is the largest number, is the larger among those two numbers. And at the end, I can have a return 0 statement. Okay. Now, let us try to compile the code and see whether there are any errors. So there are no errors, and let's go for the execution. What we get, 20 is larger. Now, you may say, sir, why can't we simply pass the values and return those particular values, right? That can also be done. But here, the point of discussion is that how we can return the pointers. Returning pointer means nothing but it's returning the memory addresses by the user defined function. To achieve that, a simple program is written here. We just wrote the simple program and try to understand how this particular program behaves by explaining diagrammatic the visual content of that particular memory block. Okay, if there are any doubts, students, please do ask.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, sure.
Sir, as you said, instead of passing the values, we are passing the pointers. So does it give any advantage in programming?
Yes, it does advantage in the programming. The advantage is that the program execution would be much faster than the other way. Because we know that pointer means what? It just tell us the way that particular values are stored. So for the runtime environment, when we execute the program, so pointers will help us in identifying those values those particular values in a quicker format than the other way. Suppose if I write a other program like this, int, say large, int, comma, int, where I'm writing a passing two parameters of the integer values itself, and I'm returning an integer value. Okay. Now, if I execute that particular program and compute the time taken by that program, that will be much more longer than what this particular program takes. The pointers works efficient and they work faster than the other way. That is the main advantage of having pointers in the programs. Does that answers your question?
Yes, sir.
Now you may say, probably you may think that how can we validate the execution time? It becomes little difficult when we have a simple code like this. That is, very less number of lines are here, right? But if the program consists of a large number of lines of a code, say around 1,000 and more than that, and if we have a pointers in that, in such cases, the execution is much more faster than if I write the same program without pointers. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Now here,
Yes, sir.
if you want to understand this particular program, you should have the concept of, you should have already known the concepts related to the user defined functions, how to pass the parameters, how the values are returned by the functions. Okay, and the concept of a pointer. If you know those things, then it will becomes easy for you to understand this program. That's why yesterday I told you to just revise the concept of user defined functions so that you can understand this particular program very easily. Whatever concepts you have learned in the previous semesters, you need to remember those things. Okay, understood, students? Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay, now fine. Now let's go to the next concept. The next concept, we're going to look into a pointer to a function. So pointer to a function, it sounds little different, right? We can have pointers to a function. Okay, now so far we have studied certain concepts where variables are stored in the memories, right? In the memory block, and each of those will be having a memory address. In the same way, in a particular program, C program, if we write user-defined functions like this way, when I write a user-defined function, this user-defined function will also require certain memory block. It also requires certain memory that has to be stored. If it requires the memory, that means there can be definitely a memory address. All the user-defined functions which we write in the C programming or C++ programming, okay, they require the memories. There should be a memory available in the computer memory architecture, and that particular address we can retrieve, and that particular address can be assigned to a particular pointer. Okay. In that case, how we need to make use of those particular pointers to the functions. Okay, that concept we are going to learn in the next program. Okay, let me open the program for that demonstration. pointer to a function. Let me get rid of all the code so that I can explain it to you from the beginning. Okay, now pointer to a function. Now, can anyone tell me what this particular statement is? The line number 14, sorry, line number 4, which I have highlighted here.
Function prototype.
Function prototype. Very good. This is a function prototype. That means it tells to the compiler that, okay, there is going to be a user defined function by the name sum, okay, which will take 2 arguments of the integer data type, and that will return an integer value. Okay, now when we do so, and definitely there will be a particular user defined function. Okay, first let me write the user defined function here, then the remaining code I am going to write. Since it is going to return an integer value, so I will write int. Name of the function is sum. As it indicates sum means I'm going to add 2 numbers, and then that sum I'm going to return it. Okay, so let me call it as a first parameter int x and int y. Okay, and in its body I will write a simple statement, that is return x plus y, x plus y. Okay, this is the function declaration or the function prototype, and this is the function definition. Now when I write this code, okay, there will be a memory block which will store the function sum. That means there will be a particular memory address for this particular user defined sum. Now that address I want to store into a pointer. I want to store into a pointer. Okay, then how do I declare that particular pointer? Okay, pay attention here. Now, to understand that one, first we should understand the prototype. In this particular prototype, I need a pointer to store address of this one. Okay, now how the characteristics of this particular function is what? It takes 2 arguments of what data type? Integer data type. What it returns? Integer value. Means I require a pointer, say asterisk p. Okay, now which should point to this particular sum. The characteristic of this sum function is what? It takes 2 parameters of what data type? Integer data type. So it is taking 2 parameters, int comma int. Okay, and it is returning an integer value, so it is going to be a int. Okay, int asterisk within the parenthesis the number of, that is the number of parameters data type, that is int comma int. Now this particular pointer p has the capability to store the address of a particular function which can take 2 arguments of integer data type and which can return an integer value. So do you think, are you able to find these 2 statements have certain same behavior? If you look into the return type and if you look into the number of parameters what it is taking. Okay, it goes in the same way of the basics which we have learned earlier. Suppose if there is an integer variable x, and if we want a pointer for that, what we do? We write int star p, right? The data type of this particular x is int, so we require a pointer of the type int only. But here in this case, we need a pointer to the function. We need a pointer to the function. Then the functions have certain additional capabilities or the features, such as how many parameters it takes and what are the data types of that, and also what data type is it returning, or what is the value it is going to return. In the same way, if we need a pointer, we need to explicitly tell that, okay, this particular p is a pointer. Okay, now it is not a pointer for a simple variable, but it is a pointer for the function, user defined function, by specifying its features, that this pointer is going to point to a function which accepts 2 parameters, that is int and end, and which returns the integer value. Okay, is this particular statement understood? Pointer declaration. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now since I declare a pointer, now what I need the address of that particular function. So address of the function again can be retrieved in this way. P is equals to ampersand of sum. Okay, and here we don't write any parenthesis. We just write the name of the function. That's it. P equal to ampersand the sum. Now look at here. The sum is what? Sum is name of the user defined function. So address of that particular sum is going to be stored in the pointer P. Okay, only the point of notice here is that you need to take care of that these brackets. We don't need to write any brackets or anything. Any parentheses are not required. Only the name of the function. It is here. Let me write it as initialization of pointer. Okay, now then we need to write the few statements. One of the statement to retrieve or to call this particular function. Now I'm going to write a function call wherein I don't call something like this. Sum is equals to say 10 and 20. I'm not going to call in this fashion. Rather, I will be making use of this particular pointer P to call the function. Okay, look at here how I will call. The address of this particular function is stored where? It is stored in the P. So if I want the value, I need to make use of what? Asterisk P. The same basics. I need to do asterisk P. So asterisk P when I do, what it means that, okay, I'm calling the sum function because P stores what? P stores the address of sum. Asterisk P means, so I'm calling that particular function. So I'm calling this particular function sum here. But this sum function sum takes two integer parameters. So I need to pass those particular parameters. Those parameters are passed within the parenthesis. Let me say the first number is 10 and the second number is 20 and a semicolon. This is the function call statement. Function call statement. Okay, now once this particular function call statement, this statement is executed, what will happen? P means address of sum. Asterisk P means the function that is sum. So this function sum is called by passing these two values 10 and 20. So now this x will be 10, y will be 20. So this function will get called, it will return sum of those two numbers. So 10 plus 20, 30 will be returned. Since it is returning, we need to write the LHS part over here. So LHS part, it is going to be a value, that is 30 is going to be a value. So let me declare a variable called by the name add. Int add is equals to asterisk P 10, 20. And then it's easy to print the value here. Print F, okay, the sum is equals to, or let me be precise, addition equals to %d/n, and I can just print add here. And let me try to compile and see for any errors or warnings. Line number 9, what it says. Let me compile once again. Initialization of a pointer, L value required as a left operand of assignment. Int P run. Look at here. No, not this one. What did we get error here? Main. 1 second. P equal to line number 9. Line number 9 is what? P is equals to ampersand sum. So this ampersand sum is correct. Address of sum. Then this is warning that we can get rid of. What is mistake in this one? Let me just try to check it. Previously, I just executed, it worked fine. Equal to sum. Sum is the function, correct? Takes two arguments, returns integer value. So I defined a pointer here, p. Let me explicitly try to put it within the brackets and check whether it works or not. So let me check. Yes, now it's correct. Okay. Now at the time of declaration, since these operators have got, see, the problem was I had written something like this earlier. Earlier I had something like this, the pointer declaration. Okay. Now the scope, the what we call it as the associativity matters here. Now there is a asterisk p and then there is a parenthesis. Now how it works is that since parentheses have got the higher priority, it first gets executed. Then it tries to check for the asterisk of that, which fails here. So what we need to do is that first we need to tell that, okay, this p is a pointer. P is a pointer. So I will put within a bracket so that it gets the higher priority than this bracket. Okay, we have both the brackets. First this will be executed and then this will be executed. Okay, so now it is clear. I compile it, I don't get any errors, and now let's execute the code. Now we can see the output here. Addition is equals to 30. Okay, we got the value as 30. How we got the value as 30 here? We call the function not by calling the name of the function, but by calling by the pointer. This particular statement is the function call statement, which doesn't involve name of the function. But what it involves the pointer, which stores the address of that particular function. If I want to know the memory address, I can just simply write a statement here. Let's say printf. I want to print the address of this particular p. Let's print it before this itself. Okay. Let's print it here. Printf address of function equals to %p, and this address is stored in the pointer p. So I will just write it as a p. And now you can see that the address also. Now look at this. This is the memory address of the function p, that is function sum, which is stored in the pointer p. Now this particular program is little difficult to understand. Now how it works is that the function prototype, function definition are like the normal functions, how we write it. The difference comes only in the function call statement. Okay, now usually if we want to write a function call statement, it may look like something like this: int add equal to sum 10, 20. This is the normal convention, okay, where we don't involve the pointers. But since we want to make use of the pointers, first we need to declare that particular pointer. So the pointer declaration is done. Now, since this particular pointer is a special here again, because it has to point to the user defined function, which is that particular function is the sum. Now sum takes two parameters of integer data type. So at the time of declaration of the pointer, I need to say that, okay, this pointer is going to point to a function which requires or which takes two parameters of int and int, and that function returns a integer value. So return type of that particular function is pointer is going to be an integer value. Okay, now once this declaration of the pointer is done, I need to take the address of the function. So it goes in the same way, that is p equals to ampersand of name of the function. So the name of the function is sum, so ampersand sum is given. Now what this p stores? Now p stores the address of the function sum, and when I want to call it, that means I need to write a function call statement. The function call statement is going to be asterisk of P, means wherever that particular pointer, the P is pointing to that particular memory location's function you need to call. When I call it, I need to pass the parameters because this sum is taking 2 parameters. So those 2 parameters are passed as 10, 20. So when this statement is executed, it treats as the function call statement and it calls the sum function. And 10 and 20 will be passed as x and y. And the function is going to return the value sum of those two, that is 30, and that 30 is getting stored into a simple variable, that is integer variable, and which we are displaying here. Is that understood, students?
Yes, sir.
It is little difficult to understand. So I will share this particular program with you all. Practice these programs, try to understand once again why we wrote in this way. Okay, and the video recording of this class I will upload onto the YouTube, and please revisit once again and understand the concept. If you're having any doubts, please ask in the next class. I will explain it once again if it is required. Okay, now what are the other programs I need to share? Which are the programs I have shared and I have not shared with you? Do you have a count of that?
Sir, only these three you have to share, sir. Functions, pointer and functions.
What about this pointer string? Did I share the pointer and a string?
No, sir.
No. I think till array of pointers. What about array of pointers? Have I shared?
Sir, up to array of point.
Array of pointer, is it shared?
Yes, sir.
This particular program, is it shared? Okay, let me do one thing. Meantime, students, you can enter your attendance. Okay, I will open a code share and then I will share the code there. Okay, now the first code, that is the array of pointers. One second. This is array of pointers. Okay, then the next code, don't copy right now because I'm going to put many codes here. Pointer and string. So this is pointer and strings. Second one, and then pointer to a structure. Then pointer as a function argument. Argument or parameter, whatever you can call it as. And the next one, function returning pointer. And the last one, pointer to a function. Okay, now I have put the message that is linked to this particular code in the group. Don't try to modify this particular code, students. Don't try to modify any code. You can just click on that link and copy and save it in your mobile or system. Have everybody entered the attendance? Did you copy the code? Can you acknowledge?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.